Today I will show you how to crochet this beautiful headband, and this is very easy to do, and I will show you every step of the way. You can do this headband only by following this tutorial, but if you prefer to follow a written pattern, I will of course leave a link for that below. I also have a pair of mittens on my channel that goes with this headband. So please follow along and we will make this headband in this tutorial. First, a little about the materials. For the yarn, I have used this Merino Extra Fine, and you can see all the info about it right here. I have used this off-white color. It's very, very beautiful. I will, of course, write down in the description how much yarn you will need for this. Then I've used a 4.5mm crochet hook, some scissors, and a tapestry needle, and then a few stitch markers. We begin with a slip knot. So make a loop with your yarn, take the long end behind the loop, grab it from the middle with your hook and pull. And then we chain. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and just keep chaining loosely. And I will now chain until it reaches around my head. I did 91 chains, and we will now begin working into these chains. We will skip the first chain and begin crocheting in the second chain right here. And we will do a single crochet. So you'll just insert the hook and work a single crochet. And on this first row, it will be important to count. And this will be the only row where it will be important to count. So you will count your stitches and you will need to do 40 single crochet. Now I did 2 single crochet. And this is 3 single crochet, and I will continue counting until I do 40 single crochet. When we have 40 single crochet, we will now need our first stitch marker, because we will place this stitch marker in the 40th single crochet. Then for the next 10 chains, we will work a slip stitch. So insert the hook in the next chain and work a slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, that's 1. Insert in the next, yarn over, pull through, that's 2. Work 10 slip stitches, and that's 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10th. So that's 10 slip stitches, if you are able to see 10 slip stitches. Then in the next stitch we will work a single crochet. So work a single crochet in the next, and then in this single crochet you will insert a stitch marker. And then we will work single crochets for the rest of the chains. So this one in between, we have a stitch marker in the final single crochet and in this first single crochet. So the stitch markers will always be at the single crochet on each side of the slip stitches. So all the stitches in between the stitch markers will be slip stitches. That's easy to remember. So from now on you won't be counting anymore. You will just relax and crochet back and forth. But now work a single crochet in each of the remaining chains. When we make it all the way to the other end, we will now turn. But first, chain 1 and then turn. Then we will skip this turning chain and work in our first stitch after that. From now on, we will only be working through the back loop of the stitch. So no longer through the entire stitch, but through the back loop only. So in the stitches all the way up to the stitch markers, we will work a back loop single crochet. So skip your turning chain, insert the hook through the back loop of the stitch and single crochet. And again find your next stitch, insert the hook through the back loop and single crochet. And then work a back loop single crochet all the way to the stitch marker. And when we make it to the stitch marker, we will take it out, work a back loop single crochet into the stitch, And then we will find it again and insert it, so we don't have to count. And then in the stitches between the stitch markers, we will work back loop slip stitches. So in this next stitch, we will insert the hook through the back loop and yarn over, pull through, pull through. And on this part, it's very important to keep this very loose so they don't tighten up too much. It will be very difficult to work in if you tighten too much. So just insert the hook through the back loop, yarn over, pull through, and then maybe pull the stitch up just a bit, not much, just to keep it loose, and then pull through. So insert the hook in the next, yarn over, pull through, and maybe just pull it up just a bit and pull through. And then for all 10 slip stitches, do a back loop slip stitch. And then when you make it to this stitch marker, you take it out, do a back loop single crochet, put it in again, and then work back loop single crochet all the way to the other end. And then you just repeat this again and again, back and forth. Do back loop single crochet in the stitches from the edge and until the stitch marker, and then in between the stitch markers you work a back loop slip stitch. Just work this back and forth until you find the headband wide enough. I continued until this measures about 10 centimeters, and I will now sew it together. So I will begin removing the stitch markers. We won't be needing those anymore. And then I will cut the yarn, but leave a bit for sewing. And then I will pull this through the loop, and then find my tapestry needle. And then I will fold the headband like so, and then I will make a seam all down the edge. So you will just sew it together regularly, just like this. So you'll just sew from one side to the other along the edge all the way down. And when you're all the way at the bottom, you will now weave in the end just underneath some of the stitches. Just a few times back and forth. And then finally, you can cut the yarn. Then you can turn it around and you have your headband. So, I hope you found this tutorial easy to follow. If you did, please press thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you again soon. Bye!